Okay, very good. So, welcome everybody to Introduction to Healing Meditation. Open your heart. So, our focus today is going to be opening our heart, because when we feel good about ourselves, we can be more expressive. We can be true to our own nature. We create energy to let other people love us. We create energy to let other people love us, and we start attracting other like-minded people who will also appreciate and love our best selves. And so let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Suzanne Hunt, and many people call me Sue. And I am an intuitive or a clairvoyant. I'm a healer, a spiritual teacher, and a director for Energetic Spiritual Ministries, which is a nonprofit that I've just opened up. And so I opened up my intuitive space, I guess about 15 years ago, when I learned to meditate. And at that time, when I learned to meditate, I realized that one of the problems that I was facing in my life was that um, I'm such an empath that I was attracting other people's energy, and I was feeling the energy that everyone else felt in the room. And so I was not very true to my own self because I was responding to everyone else's energy in the room. But when I learned to meditate and manage my space better, where I could ground and center, and I could focus my own energy on my own truth, then I was able to manage my space better. But I also realized that that empathic nature, that it was actually an empathic gift that I have, was the doorway in to open up my intuitive awareness. And I continued my studies in meditation to attend three clairvoyant schools here in Colorado, and I learned a number of healing techniques and spiritual wisdom that I enjoy sharing with my clients and working with my clients, and the healing tools I also use for myself. And today I'm going to be teaching some healing tools, and we're going to be focusing on a meditation to open up more love, open up our heart. And so we're going to do some fun things. We're going to learn some fun and very effective tools to feel more relaxed, grounded, and centered, and to open up our mental clarity and our intuitive wisdom. And then we're going to do a meditation to release energy out of our space. And then we're going to reset our space with more love and receptivity and affinity. So to get started, I want to talk a little bit about energy. So we are energy in a body. So there's an energetic aspect to almost everything in life. There's an energetics aspect to, we can work with ourselves energetically. We can work with our relationships with other people in an energetic way. We can do healing on any kind of issue that we're struggling with. If we want to release energy around a goal that we're trying to achieve, that we're having some struggles around, or an old pattern or old painful experiences or memories, we can let those go and give ourselves healing with the techniques that we're going to be talking about today. So, so healing tends to happen like we're peeling an onion, because we still have to learn, take our steps, and experience the learning that we came here to experience on Earth. And so we can do some healing, and that will lift off and shift our space in a certain way. And then we find ourselves growing in and expanding to own that new part of ourselves. And then we can take some more healing and peel away another layer of the onion, and so that we can keep expanding and growing as we enjoy this life's journey. So there's many ways to do healing. Lots of modalities in the world, um, many, many different ways to do healing, but most all include what I like to call attention and intention. Two tools for healing that I teach are attention and intention. So, attention is what we're focusing on. It is what we're paying attention to. So, and if we look and view and see a particular situation as whole and complete, then we start taking ourselves towards that whole and complete experience or self or whatever dynamic it is we want to experience. So, what does the situation look like whole and complete? Focusing on that is the attention. And the intention is the transformational energy that moves us forward. So, it's the energy that takes us where we want to go. And if we think about the intention, as human beings, we're always creating energy, whether we're doing it consciously or unconsciously with our thoughts. Our thoughts are always generating energy in our space. So we get to decide where we want to go in life and whether we want to be aware and create consciously or just let it happen. So the concept is that the energy that we're running in our space is the energy that we're manifesting within our lives and what we're attracting. And so sometimes we think about a oneness philosophy and a lot of spiritual dynamics. The Althea Center for Engaged Spirituality, which is the spiritual center that I'm affiliated with, we have a oneness of energy dynamic. So the philosophy is that we're all connected. We're all connected at a spiritual level, and it's a beautiful philosophy. But I like to think of energy, there is a oneness to energy as well. So when we think about the energetic experience, the oneness is that what I'm experiencing, the energy I'm experiencing, is also the energy that I'm projecting. It's the energy that I'm looking through that creates my experience. And it's also, to a large degree, the energy that we're attracting into our lives. So if we think about if I'm in an experience of frustration, I might be projecting frustration, experiencing frustration. Maybe I'm attracting more frustration into my life. If I'm experiencing worry, maybe I'm projecting worry and I'm seeing worry. I'm bringing more worry experiences where I might experience worry into my life. But if we're projecting affinity, if I'm experiencing affinity, I'm projecting affinity. My experience is of affinity because I'm viewing that, I'm seeing that, and I'm experiencing it. And I'm attracting more people in my life who can appreciate the loving and beautiful person that I am. And I'm creating more experiences for affinity in my world. So when we can bring in the energy and heal our energy with more love and affinity, then we begin to heal our relationships with other people, and we begin to heal our ability to be, even in challenging experiences, more present in a challenging experience. So, a very easy way to do healing, um, and the way I teach is with visualization and color and movement and space. Just very simple concepts. And today we're going to use attention and intention and the tools of visualization and that movement and color to give ourselves a healing. So the attention is focusing on these things, and I'll lead you through the meditation in just a few moments. And it's an imagination, it's our imagination. That's all it is. So some people might say, well, I'm not very visual, but we can just have an intention and focus on something in our mind's eye, and we start to create that image. So there's no right or wrong. It's just a matter of focusing our attention. So we can have that intention, movement, where a color, we might visualize a color in our bodies and we can visualize it moving and shifting. And that is the intention, clearing that energy out of our space. So, and again, it doesn't matter what we see. What matters is that we have some intention behind it. And that's the focus and what kind of intention we want to bring to that experience that creates the healing. So again, seeing a situation as whole and complete and in its most perfect form, and then using the visualization is what makes the healing happen. Excuse me. So I teach a visual active style of meditation. And it was developed initially, this style of meditation was developed by Louis Bostwick back in 1973 at the Berkeley Psychic Institute. And Louis Bostwick was a renowned psychic, a healer, a spiritual teacher, and he developed the very first psychic development school that was located there in Berkeley, California. And Berkeley Psychic Institute, or BPI style, excuse me, sorry about that. The BPI, or the Berkeley Psychic Institute style of meditation and healing, are taught at many of the psychic and intuitive development schools across the country. And the reason is that these techniques really work. And so, my goal in teaching this kind of a program or these kinds of concepts, and I'm teaching them under the Althea Spiritually Center for the Spiritually Engaged, under their umbrella, is to teach us self-healing so that we can all learn and grow to be our very best selves and bring that expansiveness into our world. And so the tools that I teach are focused on self-healing. And so what I'd like to do is to go ahead and teach a very simple three-step process to get grounded and centered. And so, if you would, I'd like to invite you to settle into your space, um, and maybe settle into your space. And I'm going to put the chat up so that I can see the chat. Um, so, with that, I'm going to speak a little more slowly, and I'm going to lead us through a little three-step process to get our space, and then we'll go ahead and start talking about the energy of affinity. So when we get our space, get ourselves grounded and centered, then we are in a space to release energy. We are in a space to open up our intuitive mind and to set our energy for healing. So I'm going to talk about it first, and then I'll lead you through the meditation. So a short explanation is, first, we're going to ground. We're going to ground from the base of our spine. I know some dynamics, they teach um, grounding from the feet or maybe some other methods, but I like to teach grounding from the base of the spine, because when we ground from the hips, the base of the spine, it allows our body to have a trash chute so that any energy that we're releasing from our space will go ahead and release right out of our space. So it also lines us up under our center of truth, which is kind of on the top of our heads. If you're familiar with the chakras, the top of our head is our crown chakra, and you really don't have to know much about it other than our truth is in our upper dimension of our space. And when we're grounded from the hips or the base of the spine, then we can line up under our truth. We can be more aware of what's right for us and what isn't, and we can release energy down that trash chute there at the base of our spine. And then the second tool, if you will, that I'd like to teach this morning is to open up and be in the center of our head. And what that is the space right here behind our eyes and a little bit above our ears. And sometimes we think of it as the intuitive center, the sixth chakra, or the third eye, some people like to call it. And that is the space right behind our eyes. And the tool is very simple, although it seems kind of vague when we first try it. And that is to just have our awareness behind our eyes and in our head. And what that does, it just opens up our intuitive space. It kind of activates it, having our energy there, activates our intuitive space so that we can receive messages from spirit more easily. It's like a muscle. We start to activate the muscle. And it also activates that part of ourselves where we can create visually. We can create visually um, from images, like I was talking about earlier with the images, the movement, and our intention. So we can create images to move our life forward in the direction that we'd like to go, and we can receive intuitive information from this space. So then the third thing that I'd like to teach you this morning is to find and define the edge of our aura bubble. What happens, particularly for people who are very empathic, um, our energy tends to expand. Some people it might contract. But the trick is that we want to be projecting the life experience that we have from our own energy, from our own chakras, from our own energetic dynamic. And it's very easy to be absorbing energies out in the world that really aren't ours or that can influence us. So when we define the edge of our aura bubble, which is about an arm's length out from the body, um, kind of turning around a little bit so you can see, um, about an arm's length out from the body, then we can prevent energies, disengage from energies out in the world, and create our own experience from within. And so that tool is just imagining that we have a color, a color on the outside of our bubble, and we can pick a color, in any color, red, blue, pink, purple, orange, yellow, any color, not black or white. And we can just imagine that we can paint the outside of our bubble this color to define it so that we can discern ourselves more easily energetically from within our own energy centers. So those are the three steps. Does anybody have any questions for me before we start? So you can take yourself off mute, or you can type something into the chat up. Okay, set these over to the side. Great. So now I'm going to invite you to settle in. Take a nice deep breath. Deep breath in through your nose. Take that breath all the way down into your belly. And then go ahead and release that air out your mouth. Just release your day and all the things that you've been thinking about or that you had to do to get here. Take another deep breath in the nose. Deep down into the belly. And then exhale. Let your body settle. Let it soften. Feel that chair or the furniture behind you and underneath you. And then with our imagination, we're going to go ahead and create that grounding cord there at the base of your spine. And we're just going to imagine a colored shaft of light. Any color, red, blue, pink, purple, orange, brown, green, yellow, any color, not black or white. Black is no color, and white tends to attract foreign energy. So you can just create a nice colored shaft of light that begins at your base of your spine, and you might let it be nice and wide. I like to have mine as wide as my hips. Just imagine that Grounding is growing from the base of your spine all the way down through the floorboards, down into the bedrock of the building you're in, all the way down, down, down into the center of the earth, where it can ground in and connect in with whatever's there at the center of the earth, hot lava or hot water. We can just let ourselves ground in and imagine that grounding, that colored shaft of light, is acting like a trash chute, carrying away energy that you no longer need, that might not be supporting you, away from your body, lining you up under your crown chakra, under your own truth, so that you can take in what's right for you today and leave the rest. And when that feels complete, we'll go ahead and we'll open up that intuitive center there in that headspace behind our eyes. And if your eyes are closed, you can just imagine your awareness is there behind your eyes. And you might feel a little buzzy, or might not feel anything, but the idea is we're activating this space. And you can imagine that you're turning on the light. You might be flipping a switch, or pulling the chain, or flipping a switch to let the light radiate. Just imagine you can turn the light on to activate that space for yourself. And next, we're going to paint the outer edge of our aura bubble a color. We can use the same color we used for our grounding cord, or a new color, a different color. And just imagine blue, purple, pink, yellow, green, red, any color on the outside of your bubble. You can you can dump a paint can on the outside, and it will just flow that color all the way around your bubble, and let it flow all the way down where it connects in with your grounding cord, separating you from the rest of the world. We don't have to respond to the energy out there, but what we can manage and control is the energy that's flowing through our own space. And today we're going to be creating some more love energy in that space, just for each of us to have, just for you, just for me. When that's complete, you can go ahead and open your eyes and come back to the room. How does everybody feel? More calm, centered, relaxed, maybe a little bit peaceful, kind of containing your energy? I hope so. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about generating energy for the fourth chakra, and then we're going to do another little meditation. So the fourth chakra, or heart chakra, depending on what your background is with energy, you don't have to know about energy for anything we're doing today. But the heart energy is here in the center of our upper chest. Um, it is all about the relationship we have with ourselves, and it's the relationship we have with other people. The energy center is here in our chest. And the energy that we have for ourselves is very, very important, because the energy, or the way we feel about ourselves, is really the blueprint for the energy that we bring into our relationships. So when we stimulate and create love in our heart space for ourselves, we start to generate love energy that's going to expand and radiate out into our lives and into our world. So the vibration for wholeness in our heart space is affinity. It is affinity for ourselves, more love for ourselves, and it's affinity for other people in our world. So loving ourselves, loving others, creating more affinity in our world. Now, the affinity energy in our heart chakra, our heart center, is all about giving and receiving love. And in our heart channels, when I look at them energetically, we actually have channels for giving love and channels for receiving love. And most of us, excuse me, most of us are pretty good at giving. Maybe our upbringing, it might be religious or family dynamics. We probably heard the passage from the Bible, it is more blessed to give than to receive. So we're taught to focus on the world out there and to give to others, to help others first. Um, we're taught to give to others before we would give to ourselves. And so our giving channels are probably working pretty well. We have affinity for people in our world and in our lives, and we focus on them. And that's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. We love people in our world and we want to give to them. But the receiving channels that we have in our heart chakra may not be as active or may not be as strong. In fact, we may have trouble making time for self care. And maybe because of religious dynamics or other teachings that we might have had growing up, um, instruction from adults, um, we might have we might have a sense that we feel guilty when we give to ourselves. We might feel guilty about putting ourselves first. So, empathic people may be responding to other people in their world who have influence. And it's very natural in our relationships. We have empathic people that are very in tune and are very aware about other people around them. And so empathic people might be responding to other people who would like us to help them or do something for them. So that's a very natural kind of a dynamic. So empathic people may be reacting to more influential people in their lives. So our natural inclination to receive may not be very strong. And when this has happened, we're focusing our affinity out into the world. And we are directing less of our affinity in to our own selves to nurture ourselves. So when I said earlier that the most important relationship we have with ourselves um, is here, we can start to create more love and appreciation and more affinity for ourselves. We start to open up that space. When we love ourselves better, other people can too. But sometimes we find we might be resisting affinity. Maybe someone has a nice comment for us, or a compliment, or they want to appreciate in some way what we did or who we are as a person. We tend to discount it or brush that away. And for some reason or another, we may not want to let it in. We resist the appreciation. Well, why is that? Why would we resist the appreciation that is coming into our space? A couple of reasons. Maybe we don't believe that it's true. We might, oh, they're just saying that, or whatever kind of a notion we have going on in our heads. And we might have some painful memories that cause us to feel like we don't deserve that appreciation. And so if we don't feel like we don't deserve the appreciation, we might find ourselves resisting it. So, my recipe for opening up our heart energy really is kind of a two-step process. It's um, one step is to release any old ways of thinking that make us feel like we don't deserve to be loved and appreciated. Letting go of any energy that says we're not lovable, we're not worthy, or special, which we certainly are. It might be old painful memories from childhood or any time in our life. We might have unsupportive experiences from, childhood, teen years, maybe an ex-husband or an ex-boyfriend or girlfriend or wife. And when we release energy from our space that is not supportive, it's akin to cleaning out the closet. Cleaning out the closet for things we don't need anymore. We're just going to let them go with our little meditation today. And the other piece of it, step two, is to start feeding ourselves with more love and appreciation so that we can help develop that affinity within ourselves, start generating more affinity in our world, in our thoughts, so that we can project it, experience it, and bring that expansive energy into our lives. Because when we give to ourselves, we can be more expressive and more true to our own nature. We start creating energy to let other people love us, and we start attracting other like minded people into our world who will appreciate our very best selves. So, so this is akin to buying new clothes, resetting our space, recharging our space with more affinity. So we're going to use this two-step recipe today. So the first step, we're going to go in. I'm going to lead you through a little guided meditation. We're just going to pick up from earlier where we were, and I'm going to guide you and say some things that might help to trigger a release of any old painful memories, maybe upsetting experiences, times in your life where you felt unsupported or unloved. We're just going to let those go. We're going to let the seeds for any critical inner thoughts go, because those can get started and they can go round and round in our head. We're going to release the I should haves and I shouldn't haves, or any kind of memory that may be a regret that we haven't had the courage to forgive ourselves for yet. We're just going to open those spaces up and invite them to leave. And then, because these energies get in the way, like I was saying earlier, of our withholding love or maybe resisting love energy from coming in. And all that, of course, doesn't happen in our conscious mind, but it's happening kind of under the covers when we experience life. So we're going to kind of dig in there and release that energy out. And then step two, we're going to reset with some loving thoughts. And I'm going to lead you through some things to think about, to start recognizing the beautiful spirit that you are. And I have a wonderful love poem that I don't have the author, sadly, but I'm going to read the poem to kind of help reset vibration at a beautiful high affinity for yourself. So the way we're going to do it, two steps. The first step, we're going to use this magnet. I'm going to invite you to envision a magnet. It can be, this is a red one, but I like to use golden tools when I'm working with energy. You can have a golden magnet. You could have a square magnet. You could have a heart-shaped magnet. You could have any kind of an image you'd like. The idea is that we're going to envision, we talked about the attention and intention earlier. We're going to envision that our attention is on this device, this magnet that we're going to have in our mind's eye. And we're going to let that magnet or that container, if you will, float around and pick up energy. We're going to imagine that any energy in our body and in our aura space that's not supportive or loving or any painful, regretful experiences, the shoulds and should haves and shouldn't haves. And we're going to let this magnet just absorb all of the color. We're going to imagine the non-supportive energy as a color, and then imagine that the magnet can just draw it out of our space. And then we're going to imagine when we're finished that the magnet floats through the room, out through the wall or the window, out into the sky, where it can explode and dissolve and let that energy be transmuted, recycled back into the universe. And then we'll reset, and I'll talk about some loving energy, and we'll fill in that space with loving energy, and I'll read that beautiful poem. So any questions about what we're going to do in this little easy meditation? Everybody okay? Okay, cool. All righty. Okay, so we had one person come in. We're going to settle in um, back into that space. Let's take a nice deep breath in your nose, all the way down into your solar plexus, and then let that energy flow out of your body, out, breathe out your nose, in your nose and out your mouth. Let's take another breath deep into your belly, and then let that release. Go ahead and let your body soften and settle into the furniture. You can reaffirm that grounding you have at your base of your spine. Or if you came in later, you can just imagine you're grounded. And we'll reaffirm that space in the center of our head, that space behind your eyes, and a little bit above your ears. Just have our awareness there in the center of our head, activating our intuitive center. And then we're going to reaffirm we painted the outside of our aura bubble a nice color to define ourselves from the rest of the world. And we'll just imagine that definition disengaging so that we can disengage from the world, away out in the world, and create our energy from our energy centers here within our own space. We're going to release energy today and do a clearing and a healing with visualization, attention, and intention. So you can just imagine your magnet, whether it's a U shape or a square one or a heart shaped one or any container. Let it be any color. Let it be golden if you like. Let it be hovering out there in front of your space, ready to move around and collect energy that you're ready to release today. And let's just imagine that any unsupportive energy that might be getting in the way of your ability to have beautiful, loving affinity for yourself lights up as a color inside your body, maybe around your aura bubble. Let it be a color: red, blue, green, purple, pink. Let the energy that's ready to leave be a color. You might see more than one, and that's okay. Our intention is that we have a color shows up, that energy that's not supporting you, and our attention, excuse me, is that the magnet can start to pull that energy and draw it out of your space. So you've got your magnet hovering out around your bubble, maybe a foot or so away from your body. And that color is lighting up inside you. Excuse me, just a minute. To clear my throat. And we're going to invite that magnet to start absorbing all of the foreign energy from now all the way back to your childhood, any time in your life when you felt unsupported, unloved, maybe criticized in some way. You might have a memory of it, or you might just see it as a color, or you might just know what it is or not, and just have the intention that it's flowing out into the magnet. Maybe you felt criticized in some way, maybe some self-critical thoughts, maybe felt inferior in some way. Let all that energy, the colors, just with intention that it goes out into the magnet, out of your body. Maybe there's some kind of regret that's not been forgiven. We can let that go into the magnet. Maybe a painful memory or experience. Maybe someone said something hurtful. You don't need to know what it is. We can just let it go into the magnet. Imagine the color moving out into the magnet and away from your body. It might be around at the top of your head. affecting your clarity. It might be outside around your bubble. Just let the magnet float to wherever it needs to go to draw it out. It might be around your neck and shoulders, around your chest, clouding that beautiful self-image of who you are as spirit, around your midriff, your torso, or in your back, along your spine. Let the magnet just float around and gather and absorb it all up. You might know what it is or not, and it doesn't matter. With this method, we don't have to know anything about it to give ourselves a healing. Let the magnet float and pick up any more energy that's ready to go. And now you can decide if you're ready to let this energy go completely for good. Are you ready to have a new, loving perspective of yourself? Are you ready to let in more joy and contentment into your life? Are you ready to have more affinity in your life? If the answer is yes, let that color leave into the magnet. And when it feels complete, you can go ahead and imagine that the magnet is going to float out away from your space, out into the room, out through the wall or the window, out over the sky, out into the sky, over a road or a parking lot, and just let it explode or dissolve or start on fire or just disappear, to let that energy be transmuted, recycled back to the universe. And now, when that's complete, the magnet is gone, that energy has moved out of your space, we're going to fill back in with your own energy, because when we release energy, we create little spaces in our energetic dynamic. And we want to fill those in with our own energetic vibration. And the way I like to do this is to imagine that there's a great big golden ball of energy, maybe about a foot above your head, and that this big golden ball of energy, kind of like a golden sun. In fact, I like to call it a golden sun. It starts to coalesce, and that golden sun will start to gather and draw all of the energy that you're ready to collect back to your space from any time in your life, from your any time in your life, even your past lives, any and all fragmented energy that you have left around the universe, around your lifetime in your world. Imagine that this golden sun is calling it all back into a great big golden sun, into this golden sun above your head. Imagine this golden sun is calling back all the love and creating the love and calling back all the love for the very special and unique gift that you are in this world, the unique gifts that you bring into this world. All of this love energy is coming back to your space now. All the love that you have given away freely has been multiplying and is now coming back into this golden sun above your head to replenish you, fill you up. All the love and appreciation from everyone in your lifetime who has recognized the gift you are as a human being, all of their love and appreciation is coming into this golden sun. And when that golden sun is nice and full of all your own energetic DNA, all of the energy that you've called back, that you might have left in the world through interactions and just living. It's collected back now up into this bubble, this golden sun above your head. And we're going to imagine that you can pop it and you can let it start to flow down into your head, your neck, your shoulders, down your arms, and out your palms, down your torso, all the way down your back, filling in your organs, your spine, your hips, all the way down through your thighs, your knees, all the way down into the lower legs and at the bottoms of your feet. And while that energy is filling in, I'd like to read the poem, Open Heart Meditation Poem. Sadly, author is unknown. As you listen to these words, just let this beautiful affinity soak into every cell in your body, all the spaces in between the cells in your body. I am beautiful. I love myself. I am imperfect. I forgive myself. I love myself. I am worthy. I love myself. Every day, in every way, I am getting better and better. I love and appreciate myself just the way I am. The more I give, the more I receive, and the happier I feel. I love myself. I am a good receiver. I love myself. I am safe. I love myself. My relationships reflect my heart's desires. I love myself. I am a good receiver. I love myself. It is safe to have what I want. I love myself. I am evolving towards perfection at the fastest possible harmonic rate. I love myself. There is enough for me. I love myself. I am enough. I have enough. I do enough. I love myself. I don't have to please anyone else. I like myself. I love myself. I am highly pleasing to myself in the presence of others. I love myself. I express myself freely, fully, and easily. I love myself. I am a powerful, loving, and creative woman or man. I love myself. I now love and accept my body completely. I love myself. I am imperfect. I forgive myself. I love myself. I am a knowing co-creator with all that is. I love myself. And so it is. And when your chakras, your body, all the cells of your body, and the space in between the cells in your body, and out in your aura bubble space is all filled up with this love energy, just like a glass of water has been filled up around you, a space between your body and your aura bubble. can go ahead, come on back to the room. And I'm going to go ahead and let me see. Oops, there we go. How's everybody doing? Good? Feeling good? Y'all look really bright, the ones I can see. Karen might have gone to sleep. Are you still there? She's there. I put you all on gallery view since we have a small group. And I'd love to hear what your experience was. If you want, you can put your mics on. Remember that I am going to publish this on YouTube, so it will be published, but hope everybody's feeling better. Good.
Yeah, it was wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, oh, you're welcome. What I'd like to do now is if you like this experience, I would like to share my screen and tell you about some classes I have coming up. Um, and let me go ahead and get this on, let's see, slideshow. So if you like the meditation that we did today and you want to learn more, you are welcome to look into this 7-week healing meditation class. I've got get this moved out of the way. So in this class, we would learn more energy techniques to expand your awareness and ability about energy. We start to work more with the intuition to strengthen our intuition. We learn more about energetic boundaries and chakras, explore more creative energy techniques. I have some tools to teach you to help manifest your goals and dreams. We connect in with our own spiritual guide, a healing guide, and we learn to receive and to give spiritual healing. And then there are some growth inspiring concepts that I include in the class. It is a 7-week class starting August 24th over Zoom, like we're doing today, only not public. Um, so it is a small group. I usually allow up to 8 people in the group, and it goes from 7 weeks from 6:30 to 8:30 Mountain Time. So August 24th through the 5th of October. And I'll put this information in the chat too so that you can copy it if you like. Early registration until the 17th of August is $99 and it goes up to $125 on the 18th of August. And then I'm also offering what I'm calling the Summer Sizzler, which is the same program taught in the summertime on Saturdays in July. Same information that's taught in 3 weeks from 10 a.m. to about 1 o'clock on Mountain Time on 3 Saturdays, July 10, 17, and 24. And the same pricing is on the same pricing for the Sizzler. And here is some information about me. Um, I've got my email and my website, my Facebook and Instagram and YouTube handles. And then I'm going to paste this actually into the chat. Let me go get my information. Come on. Get that over here. Chat. There we go. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Sorry, I was trying to get this to copy. I thought I had it copied. Okay, let's see if that did it. There we go. So that show up in the chat.
Yes.
So there's some links if you want to copy those. If you came in from the Ajata Casa, I'll put the information out there too. So if you liked what you learned today, I'd love to have you in one of the classes, and so we can learn more. And if we have a minute, how do people feel after the love energy? Any comments about how you feel? Anybody want to share?
I thought it was, yeah, really great. There was like my magnet was a pyramid, and so that
Oh,
so that the wide side could get the larger areas, but then
oh,
the pointed would get some of the deep rooted kind of
uh-huh,
small spots that I
uh-huh.
didn't know were there. So I thought
Oh,
that was cool.
good. Yeah, so you had a pyramid magnet. That's terrific. Fun
Yeah,
imagery.
yeah.
Great. And Jeff says, powerful visualizations. Thank you. Thank you for being here, Jeff. And Karen, any thoughts from you before we close? Oh, you're on mute, honey. We can't hear you. Yeah.
Well, just towards the very end, um, I saw sort of like this tree, like I don't know how to describe it, but I, I I could probably find a picture of it, but just like this, it's something that I've seen before, in a picture in an image,
Uh-huh.
um, like a tree with branches, like like just like a little tree you might set on your top of your desk or on a coffee table or something at the very top of my
On
crown
top
or
of your head?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, beautiful. I love that.
And it was brown. I mean, that's kind of what I remember. I know I've seen it before, and I'm pretty sure I know where the image is from, but that's where I saw it.
Sounds like growth inspiring. Trees are rooted, grounded, and replenishing. Trees are everlasting and replenishing if they get lots of water and sunshine, and they are refeeding us. So that's beautiful. Thank you. Well, I want to thank everyone for being here today. I'll put the replay out there if you want to listen to it, and I would love to have you in any of the classes. And we'll see you on Ajata Casa or Instagram or any of the other Facebook social media um, platforms. Y'all have a great day. Bye
Thank you so
bye.
much.
You're
Good way to
welcome.
good way to get the weekend rolling.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.